welcome in. And I'll say this pretty bluntly. People all over Twitter, people all over YouTube have said and repeated the exact same thing. More like a small part of the community, the DPS dive community, have said that the devs are listening way too much to the support players. And that the support players are going to be the downfall of this game if the devs listen to them. And all I have to say to that is so stupid. If you have looked at the history of Marvel Rivals, you know that's not true. Just to take last season, because they're, hey, talking about this season right now, last patch notes, a lot of changes. They made an emergency hotfix. This is now when everyone's complaining. From the patch notes, just looking at the team ups, just to take all the 3 roles right now. Team up anchors, by the way, that's what I'm talking about specifically right here. Tanks lost 900 health. DPS lost 60% damage, and supports lost 70% healing. And not every support got compensated for that, unlike the DPS. Let's just look at the patch notes right here. Cloak and Dagger lost 15% healing. Strat Pool 5% healing. Gambit 5% healing. Invis 15% healing. Luna 15% healing. Just to take Luna for an example, as the person who didn't get compensated for primary healing, her Snowflake on herself dropped the damage, gained 10% more self heal on herself, and then putting on another person gains 5% more healing. What about her primary? What about her clap? Permanently, until a new balance patch notes comes out buffing that, from last season to now, she does 15% less healing. No compensation. And even the supports that got buffed. Oh, also, Rocket 5% less healing as well. Mantis, as soon as she got buffed, she's now nerfed again. Ultron, his drones got 5% more healing a second. His team up, yeah, cut to half, 42%, the same remaining healing per second as before when he first got that Penny team up. Yeah, because Ultron needed more nerfs. That's what strategists want. No compensations to their primary healing. No, actually, buffing Ultron. Let's nerf Ultron again. Yeah, we didn't need any of that, right, guys? We didn't need Ultron to be any viable. We didn't need Mantis to be viable at all and double support. Let's nerf him, lock him back into triple support and only being used in that because, you know, the damage is so high in this game. Speaking about damage being so high and how every DPS got compensated, nearly every DPS got compensated for those damage drop-offs. Let's just look right here. Let's just count and list out who lost the damage. Let's just go into that. Cyclops lost 5% damage, but then guess what? Next patch notes in the hotfix, he got 2 damage buffs and a 3-second cooldown buff on his team up with Gambit, because that's what supports want, guys. Hela, she got a 15% damage boost. Did they treat her the same as Luna? No. They buffed her base damage, her primary, to 70 to 80 and made her fall off actually better for her and gave her omnidirectional bird flight, because that's what supports want, a buffed Hela. That's what supports want, guys. Do you guys want to know what also supports like and want, and you know, is the reason it happened? Phoenix, her ultimate ability, explosion from 140 to 150, and then 10% damage fall off because he lost her anchor bonus. You know what the supports actually wanted, guys? Exactly, the next hotfix to buff her primary damage from 55 to 60, increase her ricochet damage from 40 to 45 with Rogue's team up, and reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds. Because, you know, the devs are listening to the support players by buffing every problem character. Okay, let's just go. Gambit, people are horrible against him. They're like, oh, he did not deserve all of this. Let's just go there, okay? Bounce patch note season 9. Increase kinetic card single hit healing output from 28 to 30, and remove the 5% healing bonus. And let's just do the math quickly because, you know, let's just do like 28 plus 5%. That's 29.4. That is 0.6, which still is very little, but still less healing compared to the 30. That's 0.6 less healing. Still little, but still less healing. Plus, in the next balance patch notes, he received his self heal 20 to 30 and bridge boost 50 to 65 and increased the healing from 50 to 55 with his team up with Magneto. But people do not get, healing is still down. His base kit was not a strong suit, it was his ult. His ult did not get buffed. Base kit, he was probably one of the weaker supports. And then Jubilee, nobody knows how strong she is yet. There's a big crowd saying she's balanced. Big crowd saying she's underperforming, that she's not good. Another saying she's absolutely broken, as everyone says every support is. Apparently, even Ultron somehow. They decreased her ult charge, buffed her healing on her Blooming Ball, and increased base healing. And with her team up, her lifesteal is increased by 5%. Guys, it hasn't been that long. The devs see the stats. How do you know how to play the character that well that you know what they're good at now? Doesn't take a day to learn. But apparently everyone knows that every support is broken the millisecond they get posted. And I made a community post earlier about this too. Supports were nerfed 19 times. And they have the least amount of characters in the entire game right now in terms of a role. Tank, even though they have more characters than support, I believe one more, supports have 3 more nerfs. DPS, I believe, have 28 DPS in the game right now because, you know, that's what supports want. They want double the DPS as supports. And supports, I believe, now have 17. Supports are getting more nerfs per character, but that's what supports want. Like, do you guys see where I'm going with this? And how stupid this sounds that, like, DPS and dive players are saying this? That Black Panther's time to kill is less than half a second. I believe it was, like, 0.2, 0.3 seconds now. But that's what supports want. The Spider-Man got his Venom team up back. The Spider-Man can now equip his Penny Parker team up. Cluster E uppercut, it explodes, one-shotting them again in about half a second. With all dives getting regen health. Not anyone else, by the way. Not like any other character in the entire game. Everyone was asking for it. Nope, only dive characters can regen their health. Because that's what supports want. That's what supports want, guys. You know, the devs are listening to support players. That's what supports want. Is to be nerfed more than any other role. To give dives regen health. To buff Cyclops and Phoenix just after they got nerfed. To have their healing being taken away the most compared to DPS getting their DPS taken away or tanks getting their health taken away. Because that's what supports want, guys. They want to be the blunt of everything. They want to have everything taken away from them because that's what supports want. They want to have over half their roster have a negative win rate because that's what they want. They want Moon Knight getting buffed again because that's what supports want, guys. They want Psylocke being buffed from her original state last season. People say, oh, she got nerfed. Let's see this. Damage from 12 to 13. She got nerfed back to 13 to 12. Okay. She got regen health, which that's a big good thing right there. First balance patch notes. Increase the bonus health granted to Psylocke while hitting an enemy from 10 to 15. Now, let's see the changes in the hotfix. Reduce bonus health provided to self from single hit from 15 to 12. So 10 to 12 still a buff. They increased, in the original balance patch notes, increased the Psionic crossbow single hit base damage from 13 to 14. And they reverted that 14 to 13. So the things they did change, they either reverted to its previous state or buffed. But this is what supports wanted, guys. You guys see where I'm going with this. People have no idea what they're talking about, and nothing will change their minds either. You could literally give any support right now, actually. Let's say Ultron. Give him 40 nerfs. Give him one good ability, though, which can save a team fight. Oh, Ultron's a meta pick. Let's ban him now. He's immortal. Look at his immortal ability. Supports get everything they want. Look at this one ability. Oh, man, Ultron got buffed one time. Devs, listen to the Crybaby supports. This is why the game is so bad right now. It's heading in a bad direction. Crybaby supports. And you know, these type of players do not actually like the game. I always hope the best for the game. Do I like the changes? Sometimes no. Do I like some of them? Yes. But these people who purposely misinterpret everything and blame everything else on other people, what is your goal other than putting more toxicity into Marvel Rivals? You guys are so toxic, they got turned into a meme. The GG no heals is turned into a meme so much so you can run 6 supports full of support players and they'll say GG no heals even if they're winning. But yeah, it's what supports have wanted all this time, guys. Makes sense. These supports want it harder on themselves. Cloak and Dagger can turn into an icicle and heal herself up and become undamageable, unkillable in there. But guess what? In this moving environment, in this fast-paced game, standing still in one place will get you obliterated. Those, let's say 3 seconds she's in it, in those 3 seconds, your whole team will melt because of how high the damage is. With Cyclops just getting buffed, with Phoenix getting buffed, with Hela getting buffed, with all these new team-ups that have increasing amount of damage, Iron Fist can hit someone 5 meters away when he's not even looking at them with his team up. I think with Luna or someone. He has like blue glowing fists, which can also heal him, by the way. Daredevil has a self-heal now. Snowflake, by the way, which goes on dives the majority of the time, it got 5% more healing. 5%! but it's what supports have wanted, guys. More abilities, which can target Loki illusion and chain them together. Magik can have a mini Groot ult with one of her teammates with Strange. Wrap them all up. Probably even goes more than 6. Can grab illusions as well too. Moon Knight, team up with Elsa, has a mini Moon Knight ult. So you can have Magik with a Strange team up and Moon Knight with an Elsa team up. Using them together, you now have a mini Moon Knight Groot ult on I think a 15 to 20 second cooldown. But you know, all that damage is what supports wanted, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys don't understand these DPS dive mindsets, let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next YouTube video. See ya.